Hello! Welcome to the Jason Taylor Radio Show! This topic is gonna get a little real. I'm about to drop the truth, complete with receipts, so get ready. I'm about to talk about hashtag Black Lives Matter and hashtag All Lives Matter. So get ready, because a blessing is on the way. Listener discretion is advised. So be ready for that. And that's that on that. Hashtag Black Lives Matter is a hashtag turned organization created after the acquittal of George Zimmerman, who murdered a teenager named Trayvon Martin while he was visiting his grandmother. This hashtag quickly became a movement as a form of peaceful opposition against the corrupt system of law enforcement and the court of law. This ties in with self-reliance. African Americans would rather stand up than conform. Black Lives Matter is an inclusive movement that believes all black lives do indeed matter. The hashtag has been used in incidents where the oppressor has committed acts against races other than black people as well. This brings me to hashtag All Lives Matter, man. Hashtag All Lives Matter was created in response to hashtag Black Lives Matter. Mainly white people perceived Black Lives Matter as a Black Lives Matter more type movement. A woman tweeted, and I quote, "Though I understand Black Lives Matter movement, one life is not more important than another. Hashtag All Lives Matter." This hashtag has been used more popularly to the Orlando shootings. This is what I believe the intention of this hashtag is about, to say that all lives matter and shouldn't be taken away. Artists have supported both hashtags in forms of music. Frederick Douglass wrote about slaves being told to sing songs to entertain the masters of the plantations. He said that a silent slave is not liked by masters or overseers. Little did they know that the slaves were singing about escape routes and death and their need for help. Today, artists are doing the same thing in a way. They're singing songs with an underlying meaning or blatantly outright pushing the message toward us. Beyonce had a music video called Formation, which you heard a little bit of with the instrumental. It was filled with powerful images that were, about young African American kids and men being killed by the police. And they had one image of a child in a hoodie dancing in front of a line of cops with their hands raised and surrender with the words, "Stop shooting us," displayed in the background. This paid homage to Trayvon Martin and the victims of police brutality. Other celebrities have used their platforms on social media. J-Lo, for instance, tweeted All Lives Matter and had a concert on the Today Show to honor the victims of the Orlando shooting. She did suffer some heat for that because All Lives Matter is not liked. There's a lot of misconceptions between the two hashtags. Black Lives Matter is known most famously for their large and televised protests. Oftentimes, their protests end up escalating into riots. This tends to happen whenever there are large amounts of angry citizens coming together as a community. An example of things getting out of hand will be the Charlotte riots, where they looted stores and vandalized. Another example will be when shooters shot cops during a Black Lives Matter protest. This is not what Black Lives Matter is about. As I stated before, it is about peaceful opposition and not violence. Just because people do things in the name of Black Lives Matter does not mean that this is the case. To further prove my point, I interviewed students on what Black Lives Matter meant to them and how they felt about the negativity surrounding it. What does Black Lives Matter mean to you? I asked one person named Tori. She said, "Black Lives Matter to me means that Black Lives Matter too. Not only Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter recognizes that there are many innocent Black people dying and going through various injustices in the world just because they're Black. Black Lives Matter does not promote hate or target any races. I asked another girl named Taria. Black Lives Matter is a movement to show that we will not stay quiet anymore while black people are being killed unjustly by the people who are supposed to protect us and getting away with it as if our lives don't matter. I asked Nia. Blue Lives Matter wrote on their website, and I quote, on December 20th, 2014, NYPD officer Rafael Ramos and officer Wenjen Liu, don't know how to pronounce that name, were ambushed and murdered by the fanatic who believed in the lies of Black Lives Matter, the media, and politicians. What are your thoughts on this? Nia responded, I think that it had nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter, but some hatred that man had in his heart for those two gentlemen. I think the action of the Black Lives Matter supporters does not represent all. I asked Taria, my last question. How do you feel about Tommy Lauren tweeting about Black Lives Matter being the new KKK? Lord have mercy. Taria said, I think Tammy overall is misinformed about a lot of things and very hypocritical. If I remember correctly, in an interview she asked, what did the KKK do? She made it seem as if people are exaggerating the wrongdoings of the terrorist organization. The KKK kill people for simply being black, and also bomb black churches. Black Lives Matter is a nonviolent movement that actually has a real message, unlike the KKK. So, Tabitha's opinion is very inaccurate and irrelevant to me. The misconceptions about All Lives Matter is that people think that it's real. They actually believe the hashtag means what it says. But when it comes down to it, the hashtag only seems to be used when hashtag Black Lives Matter is being used. And if all lives truly mattered, why are black people having to stress the importance of black lives to people who continue to take them? To further prove my point, I interviewed some more students on the matter of my subject. What do you think All Lives Matter is? I asked Taria again. She said, a joke. Taylor, who I also asked, said, it was created by ignorant, uneducated people to defeat the purpose of Black Lives Matter because they don't understand Black Lives Matter, even though it's been explained to them a million times. I asked Ben, do you think that All Lives Matter really cares about all lives? He responded, well, I really do believe that all lives matter, but in America right now there's a lot of conflict going on with Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter and all that, but yes, there is no race that matters more than others, but I believe that all lives matter is good in some ways and bad in some ways, because there are some people who believe that all lives matter, and there are some who are just riding the wave of all lives matter and don't believe in all lives matter movement. Have you seen All Lives Matter used in affiliation with the death or mistreatment of black lives, or people of color, or the disabled, or even white people? If yes, please explain. I asked Luke this. He said no. I've only seen Black Lives Matter signs everywhere, and I've rarely seen All Lives Matter. Wow. Ray said yes and no, because at the same time they're trying to bring us all together, but they're still trying to exclude Black Lives Matter in a situation we're all at the dinner table, sort of. And we say all lives matter, but then Black Lives Matter are eating at this dinner table. And I guess we're not focusing on the main issue. I asked Wesley this as well, and he said, I haven't seen any particularly, but it might happen, but I haven't seen any for myself. Let me just break this down for you. What Ray was saying was that we can't even get a seat at the darn table, right? The table of life, where they're like, all lives matter, and yet black people can get a seat, because apparently all lives don't seem to be mattering, but yet all lives matter. I see what Ray was saying. And then Luke and Wesley, white people claim they don't see nothing, but they still notice the absence of all lives matter, right? So look at that. That right there, that's powerful. That's just how I feel in my heart and in my soul. I really want to thank you guys for listening to me and my banter. I really appreciate that. There you have it, folks. The truth. I think that it's important that topics like these are discussed. You could talk about it at lunch. You could sing about it in chorus. You could sing Freedom by Beyonce, you know, you know. You could create a presentation or host a club dedicated rather, to this topic. It's time for change and for everybody to get on the same page. That's it for today, y'all. Stay blessed and happy Monday. Hey. That's right. Okay. Okay.